times do you get to make a first impression? Absolutely, positively one time. No second chances on that. So you want to make sure every time that you make it count. I'll go briefly over what to do, what to say, and what to wear when you're trying to make that really good first impression. So what to do, whether you're having a face-to-face interview or you're on the phone, be prepared. Practice things ahead of time. Know what you're going to talk about. Have stories. Stories are a great way to engage people, but think about them ahead of time. If you're going somewhere in person, arrive early. How early? You don't have to get there an hour early, but we live in Southern California. If it's 10 miles away, allow for an hour. It might take you that long. Arrive 10 minutes early, get yourself relaxed, get yourself prepared. Always have plenty of resumes. Try to know ahead of time how many people you're going to be talking with. Do as much research ahead of time as you can. Have that many resumes, plus more. You never know how many more people are going to show up that you didn't anticipate. And you don't want to have to say, oh, I don't have enough resumes. Better to have too many. Always stand up straight. I think Steve was standing over, he was on his phone, he was all hunched over. Stand up straight. Look like you care. Now, give a firm handshake. How many times have you gone to shake someone's hand and they've been kind of limp and firm handshake? And I know you probably all know this, just remind yourself. You'll be a little nervous. Try to remind yourself to have a firm handshake. Always look someone in the eye. Nobody likes to talk to someone who's looking right past them. You're like, I'm right here. Let them know that you're there with them. And smile. I mean, a smile goes a long way. Okay, what to say? How many people have ever heard the term elevator pitch? Elevator pitch. It's kind of a new term, newer in my life, but you hear it all the time now. And does anybody know what an elevator pitch is? Okay, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a pitch that you could make theoretically in the time it takes to ride an elevator up the high-rise. So it's 30 seconds, 60 seconds. What it is, it's a short summary. So you can tell somebody in just a few sentences who you are and what you can do. Short explanation of what you have an interest in. If you already know what the opportunity is, if you already have the interview, tell them what you can do for them. What an elevator pitch is not. I've met more than a handful of people who started out. My name is Gail. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I moved to Ohio when I was 3. Okay, that was a really long time in my life. You guys, nobody cares about that at this point. It's also not an opportunity to meet people and say, hi, my name is Gail. Do you have a job for me? Okay? An elevator pitch is something that really everybody needs. It needs to be something that's it's a short description, but it might take you a long time to come up with a really good one. It's well worth your time. When you would use it, you would use it any time you're going to introduce yourself, whether it's in an email, part of your cover letter, during an interview, or in a conversation on Thursday when you go to the career fair. You're going to have a very short time potentially in front of someone where you're going to stand there, look them in the eye, shake your hand, smile, and in 3 sentences tell them who you are and what you can do. Okay, now, get to the tactical side. It's great. It sounds great. I need to have a 30-second elevator pitch. How do I start writing one? Start with your name. Who you are, describe what you do. Describe why you are unique. And be concrete and defined. Always be enthusiastic and practice this. Memorize it, but memorize it to the point where it doesn't sound like you memorized it. And I'll try to give you an example. And actually, at the end of this, I can give you all, if you're interested, I can give you my card. You can email me if you want a copy of my presentation. I'm happy to email it to you. If you want to, you don't have to take copious notes right now. Starting out using my formula, who are you? Hello, my name is Mary Jones. What? I'm currently a sophomore student attending Saddleback College. I'm studying business and art. Why? I volunteered with the Student Credit Union throughout my first and sophomore year of college. Last summer, I completed an internship with the Borrowers Museum, and here's your goal. I'm hoping to find an internship in finance this summer in the Orange County area. Very specific. I've always had an interest in art, and I'm also finding that I have a knack for business. This is why I'm unique. Studying art and business, I like to work in a museum, and finance, that makes you very unique. In the future, I'm hoping to combine these different disciplines and find a career that includes them both. Your representation of yourself, obviously you're making your first impression and it's visual. And what you wear is a big part of how you represent yourself. It seems obvious, but I've interviewed a lot of people. I worked at a Fortune 100 company for many years, and I couldn't believe how many people came in flip-flops, in shorts, in evening wear, goes both ways. You don't necessarily have to dress, I feel like we're in uniform. You don't have to wear a black suit and a white shirt, but you want to have your clothes look professional. Everything you do now, when you're out looking for a job, when you're looking for an internship, you want to make a professional impression. Leave your iPod in the car. Leave your phone in the car. I've heard stories, Steve has stories, I have never had this happen. I've heard dozens of stories of interviewers having applicants across the desk and taking phone calls during an interview, responding to texts during an interview. Seems obvious, but people are doing it. Business cards. How many people have a business card? Do you need a business card? You don't need a business card, but it's not a bad idea to have one. Based on the fact that most people don't, that might be something that sets you apart. What do you want to put on your business card? If you're a student, you can put your area of study, an email address. Steve gave a great example. I mean, you don't want your email to be John Harvey Harvey. You want it to be something professional. Just your initials, your name, nothing fancy, nothing silly. Always put your phone number, and then remember, whatever you have is your voicemail. Someone you don't answer your phone, you don't want them to be hearing, hey dude, it's me, leave me a message, maybe I'll call you back. Remember, you're giving out your phone number now to prospective employers. Make that professional. If you have a website, a professional looking website, put that address and your address. There's any number, if you Google business cards, a lot of suppliers out there, some of them are even free, you only have to pay shipping. You can actually make them yourself if you have good card stock. There's any number of ways to do business cards. It's not a bad idea to have one. Tomorrow you're going to have Sven Johnson here. He's a LinkedIn expert. He'll tell you all about LinkedIn. And you may touch a little bit on Facebook and Twitter, but the whole, yes.
I have a question. Going back to you were saying what you're doing, getting information about yourself. What if someone asks you what are I don't know if it's called negative qualities, but what are
some of your weaknesses that you might have?
Yes.
Well, there's a number of ways to answer that question. Steve, are you going to talk about that when we talk about answering? You can certainly, well, I can address that.
I don't have any weak.
Except that he has toilet paper. There are a number of ways you can do that. Everybody has weaknesses, and honestly, I don't know very many people on the other side of the field that are asking that anymore, but maybe people are.
Questions.
Right. And my suggestion and my experience is to say, if your weakness is you don't know a certain computer program, for example, you can say, I don't know that program, but I'm certainly willing to take a class and learn. Or I'm not the most organized person, but I'm implementing, I have a plan for how to become more You can turn it into, you know, when you have a weakness, address your weakness. It's not bad to think about what your weaknesses are, but be able to say what you're going to do about them and how you would address them. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the whole area of social media, because that would be an entire presentation. I will say, according to U.S. News and World Report, there are 5 do's and don'ts. And again, these seem obvious, but don't forget any of these things. Don't let these slip through the cracks. Always have positive content. If somebody Googled you and it's actually you, someone else might also have your name, you can say that. But make sure that whatever is out there about you is positive. Facebook, you know, people I've seen, you know, lots of people of every age. Pictures at parties and pictures of people doing inappropriate things. Remember now, if you're going to be out, the prospective employers are looking for you and looking behind the scenes. Everything out there is fair game. And as much as you think some of the things that we have on Facebook or something, any of those other social media sites are private, don't assume. People have access to all kinds of things. So make sure that you know what's out there about yourself and that you clean it up. Okay, if you're doing Twitter, again, don't use questionable content, don't use negative comments, project a positive image, because people are going to find you out there. Again, you know, you have one opportunity to make a first impression. So before you leave the house, look in the mirror, check your shoes, you know, take your electronic devices and leave them all home, and look in the mirror and say, is this what I want somebody to see